Okay, starting up the Long Dark once again, resuming from where we left off. Where we left off last time was right after we made the survival knife and the hatchet. We are still in Forlorn Muskeg. If memory serves, there isn't anything in this cache, so we'll step out and see how cold the muskeg is. So now that we've made the basic survival tools, okay, not too cold. It's now time to try to get our crafting material together. So we need to get, in theory, we have all the stuff ready for making a bow and making arrows. So we should try to make bows and arrows. And then once we have those made, we should try to hunt the animals to make the hide clothing we want. So we probably want to make hide shoes, hide pants, a bear jacket, and some rabbity stuff. So the start of that is getting back into Mystery Lake, which is what we're going to do today. At least do for this first part. All while we're trying to still not
I need to find food.
lose our well-fed bonus to maintain our carrying capacity. So right now the weather in Muskeg is conducive to traveling. It is a bit foggy, so I'm not going to try cutting across the Muskeg itself. We're going to try to take the
This pack is getting
outer
kind of
path.
heavy.
Which seems to be going fine for the moment. We are a little bit hungry. What do we have food-wise to eat? Nothing particularly good. Do we have? Don't have. So let's go ahead and drink up a cup of herbal tea. Okay. So we're basically taking the outside path, counterclockwise around the Muskeg. That will take us next to two caves. One is the cave we're coming up on here, and the next one is the transition cave into sort of the cannery area. We probably will step into both the caves. I don't know how much exploration of the transition cave I'll do, as that'll depend more on our carrying capacity at the time. We are already overweight, and that's not helping necessarily with the foods or with the calorie situation. Because when you're overweight, you do consume more calories.
Cold is making my head feel thick.
So I'm thinking I'll probably stop and warm up in this cave as we move on. Let's just see if there's anything in the cave first before we set up a fire. We are warm in the cave, so I'm going to just start a fire, because I don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time in here either way. That's an interesting comment. I'm not sure... Is it because we're in the cave that it's not letting us start the fire for free? With the... Okay, so we can start the fire there. We start the fire here. It's a cave thing with the...
I'm so cold.
Is a cave thing with the
Warming up
magnifying
again.
glass. Okay. So let's take a little bit of conduction damage getting the fire started, but we'll do it with a magnifying glass. So we're going to start a fire. I'm going to produce a bit of food. Because we have stuff we can cook, so I can make some peach pies.
Come on.
So
So cold.
while we're starting up this fire,
Just want
well,
to
I
lay
suppose the fire
down
might
for
fail,
a
and I might
bit.
have to do this multiple times. We'll see how long this takes. Gonna try to keep one video going up at 6 p.m. every day. Don't necessarily know how long I'll be
Fire's
able to
life
do
out
that.
here.
Well, I'm trying to keep 2 videos going up every single day. Don't necessarily know how often I'll do that. The Long Dark will get the 6 p.m. slot while we're doing that, and whatever other game I'm playing will get the other slot. Actually, yeah, I might cook some replacement herbal tea. What's it called? Trying to think about too many things at once, and the brain is not computing. Drink that herbal tea for the calories, just so we don't lose well fed. We're waiting for the pie to cook. Oh, the pie takes forever to cook. I'll drink some coffee. Why are you not letting me drink the coffee? Because I'm not thirsty. Okay, we'll get more of that. Remake the herbal tea. The other game I was playing, which was Path of Exile, most of the parts at this point are done. You should be able to see everything except for sort of the after-action report, which I'm still to record in the future. I wanted to get to at least level 80 before I make that. Not most of the way there, I'm 77. But when that's done, I'll start streaming and recording a different game for the noon slot. I already recorded and streamed Frostpunk, so if you're interested in the original Frostpunk, I did the main campaign for it. Should be in the VODs up here for 7 days. And then once that's done, I also... And that'll also be up on YouTube, so when the 7 days are passed, it'll still be up on YouTube. I've sort of scheduled that to take up the gap time between when we run out of Path of Exile content. And hopefully that'll tide us over long enough so that we get to when I have more Path of Exile content to show. Which, to be fair, will only be one video. And then I'll have to record something new. I haven't decided what the replacement for Frostpunk will be for the noon slot. Long Dark will have the 6 p.m. slot until we die the next time in the Long Dark. So that may be a while. That something horrible could happen in the next hour or two, and that could be not all that long. But we'll see how long that takes. I have some plans for what to do in this game, so we'll see if we get to actually do any of those plans. But the short-term plans right now are getting our crafted stuff going, and then we're going to start mapping. And we'll see how much of the mapping we end up getting done in the end. Okay, so, sorry about the screen blurring. That's a side effect of getting the sweet tooth headache, which we're going to sort of be suffering through with all this pie consumption. So we have plans for what to do in the Long Dark. Our immediate future is getting our stuff together to do crafting. So we're going to get back to Mystery Lake. I'm going to go ahead and first set up a bunch of rabbit traps. Then, depending upon our food situation, I'll either head out to Pleasant Valley, where I know I have maple. Let me check my notes. Where did I put the notes as far as equipment? So we got 2 maple saplings in the Transition Cave. So I can go either at the Desolation Point to get the Birch Bark maple, or I can go out to Oh, I didn't write it down here. I'm bad with my notes. I know the farmstead has some maple and birch bark as well, so we'll have to go to one of those two to actually go make the bow. But we'll get some guts curing and some rabbit stuff curing before we head out. Okay. Just waiting for these pies to cook, and then we'll head out. At least to the next cave. We'll see if we go a little bit farther before then. We'll cut back the time, do one more batch, I think also will work out. So I suppose if you're watching and you have any suggestions for what to run after Long Dark, feel free to let me know in the comments. I don't necessarily know when the Long Dark will end, because that's going to be based on when we inevitably die in the Long Dark, which hopefully won't be anytime soon, but when it comes to RNG things like that, sometimes it's a long time off, and sometimes it's very rapidly. Suppose I might run Frostpunk 2 if I actually decide to buy it this weekend. I know if you're watching this in the VOD, this is recorded before the Friday that Frostpunk comes out. So I think technically it comes available 72 hours if you did the pre-order thing with Frostpunk. I have not, primarily because I won't be able to play the first couple days that it's out. Well, yeah, the first couple days that it's out, because I'll be starting a new job, which I think will be Monday through Friday, which is why I'm a little worried I might not have the time to record enough videos for both noon and 6 p.m. I'm not sure if I'll have enough time to record 2 videos a day. I'm still going to try to do 2 videos a day. Try to record ahead. If that fails, we'll drop back to 1. I haven't decided whether or not it will be the 6 p.m. slot or the noon slot that I keep. Though the Long Dark, I'll still try to keep to 2 games. I'll just try to flip back and forth between the 2 of them to keep the variety up. So this was the thing I was partially worried about, because we might run into something like a wolf. I'm actually surprised this wolf hasn't noticed me. And he's not going to jump me, because I'm going to walk into this cave, and we're going to lose him going to the cave. But this is the other cave I brought up about and talked about a little earlier. This is the transition cave.
Too heavy.
And my character's still whining about being too heavy. Is there something specific that's making us too heavy that I can try dropping? Not necessarily. Oh, I don't need you. I can leave you behind. This is a transition cave, so this is a place where I will inevitably come back through here, so I don't mind leaving things behind to take damage that I can break down later. Oh, I have a bunch of coal. That was potentially what I was going to go in here, dip in here to look for, is to see if we see any easy coal. And I have 6 coal, so that's maybe what's weighing me down, is I've got too much coal on me. Okay, given the fact I have too much coal on me, and that I don't need to warm up, I'm gonna head on out. So I think hopefully it's been long enough that that wolf will have vamoosed from out from the cave for the trip over to Mystery Lake. We're just gonna hug the southeast corner together. Yeah, we're still overweight. So some of the stuff we're carrying is heavy. Yeah, I've got hacksaw and axe. Usually you don't carry both of these at the same time. Usually pick one and carry one of them. I will probably leave the hacksaw behind when I make it to Mystery Lake. The Mystery Lake camp office. To save some weight. I'll say make a kilogram of weight just by itself. Yeah, so I think I'm starting up a new job that should be Monday through Friday. So I won't have as much time to record. So I'm going to still try to do 2 videos a day. Whether that ends up being 2 videos a day that are a little bit shorter. I'm going to try to keep the videos a little bit shorter than an hour. Trying to keep them closer to half an hour if I can. Spray paint can stay there. And that might help with being able to produce effectively a week's worth of content in 2 days. Because I think I'll be free Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, we're already got things recorded out to next weekend. If you're on YouTube, when I say next weekend, I actually mean last weekend, because I think this will probably be, well, this weekend, I suppose. Because I think this thing would be Sunday's video. Might be Monday's video. I've lost count. I'm not looking at it right now. Right, so I'd have to go into the video manager to figure out where we are. And I know Frostpunk's actually ahead. So Frostpunk will start... Whoops, let's not go through the ice there. Frostpunk will start Thursday. And it's a 5-part series. There's some maple over there. I have cured maple, so we're not going to grab that. I just have to go get the cured maple. If you want to see more Frostpunk, I suppose leave a comment on one of the Frostpunk videos. I only did one Frostpunk 1 scenario, which is the base main campaign scenario. If you want to see more of that, leave a comment on it and tell me you'd like to see more. And given the time, I might do some more. I was able to complete that in one long play session. It took about 3 hours. So that's all the muskeg over there. There's a little bit of muskeg in front of us, but we're out of the worst of the muskeg, and we're now in sort of the wooded eastern section of the Forlorn Muskeg map. So we're not really worried about the weather turning bad. And in fact, right now we're actually a bit warm. If I hug the muskeg a little bit tighter, I can probably get a bit of cattails to feed our character here. Let's see, I'm not seeing any cattails right away. There should be some here, I'm just not seeing any. But we got a decent number of torches on this, so one thing I can keep doing is sort of torch juggling like I'm doing, which will protect us from wolves, and allow us to start fires pretty much for free. So this is also nice in that this is a fire that we did not have to use a match to start, because it was sunny enough we could use the magnifying glass. Any cattails? Ooh, I see some cattails. 100 calories, here we come. So we're back to the railroad tracks, which we used, or which we followed when we came into the Forlorn Muskeg. So we're pretty close back out to the way we came back in from Mystery Lake. And I suppose between this and the previous video, I pretty much did a full loop of the lower Muskeg. We haven't been up in the upper Muskeg. We will eventually go up there, but that's well in the future. I want to get most of the hide equipment ready to go. And obviously a bow, because there is a bear up there, there is a moose up there. Not in the same location, the bear and the moose are separated from where they are. So if you're hunting the moose, you don't have to worry about hunting the bear and vice versa. Need a little bit of food. Our character does not lose that well-fed bonus. It would also be nice. I'm already thinking far, far in the future than where we are right now. I'm thinking about getting a moose-hide satchel. We got a decent number of arrowheads. We got like 8 arrowheads. So if we take the time to build the bow and the arrows, we should probably have enough arrows to hunt moose. Interloper moose hunting can be a little bit complicated, because usually you want to make sure that you ring the moose down, otherwise you run into the problem of how do you get your arrows back. And you've only got arrows, right? So the big advantage arrows have over the guns is the ammunition's renewable, and it's fairly reliable at making the animal bleed. But to get the arrows back, you have to get them back from the animal. And moose don't bleed, so you can't just twang him and wait. You have to bring him down with the arrow. So if you're having a bad shot
Too
today,
much stuff to carry.
it can get really annoying if you get like 2 or 3 arrows in a moose and it doesn't come down. Which is why I've actually prepped as many arrowheads as I have. I'm looking around, looking for any wolves. There's sometimes wolves in this stretch. Oh, I almost clicked and almost put the fire out. Also looking around for sticks that we can pick up on the way. But at the moment I'm not seeing either of those. So one of those is good, one of those is bad. We'd like sticks. We don't want to really run into wolves right now because we don't yet have the bow. Once we have the bow, we still don't really want to hunt wolves. In theory, if we kill 4 wolves, we can turn wolf hides into a coat, but it's not the best coat, right? So I think the best in slot is usually the bear coat, right? You're usually thinking of getting the bear coat. It's not necessarily the best as heat to weight ratio. But on Interloper, because of how cold it can get and how windy it can get, you frequently want 1 bear coat. The second one is kind of a luxury sometimes, but the first one's really good. And that's because you only get the wind proofing bonus from the outer coat. So one of the first things we're probably going to hunt is deer, but the second thing we'll hunt after we get the bow going is probably bear, because we probably want to bring at least 2 bear down for their hides. And the wolves, on the other hand, which is something we don't necessarily want to run into even once we get the bow. We could hunt them, but until we get cooking 5, their hides are kind of second best to the bear hides. They don't necessarily carry very much meat, and their meat can cause intestinal parasites. So we'd rather eat a piece of bear meat than eat a piece of wolf meat. I am prepared for an emergency if we get intestinal parasites, so it wouldn't be that bad getting 1 bout of it. But all things being equal, it's probably a good thing to try to avoid.
Never been so hungry in my life.
Okay, so we've made it to camp office safely.
I wonder if I can drop any of this
I'm going to
gear.
put out this torch because the next couple things we're going to do, we're going to be doing inside where the torch isn't going to help. We do have some reclaimed wood. We have some cured guts. I feed the character quickly, so we'll eat a pie. What does that do to the fatigue? Are we full of fatigue? Nope. So I'm going to eat another pie. So we're going to sort of begin the crafting here. The first bit of crafting I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make up some rabbit traps. So we have a source of food. Not a particularly great source of food, but we have a source of food while we're starting the crafting in this area. So with those guts and with those planks, we now have enough material to make 4 snares, so that's what I'm going to do. So snares, the rabbit snares will catch an average of half a rabbit every 12 hours, and a quarter of the time they will break every 12 hours. If they break, you can disassemble them to get the wood back, but then you need a gut to rebuild them.
I need to drop something.
Oh, I forgot to leave the hacksaw behind. So my thought process right now is I'm going to go set these up so that we have rabbits when we come back with our crafting
I
material.
need snow if the hypothermia
And we can,
kill me.
every 12 hours, we can come check them to see if we get rabbits. In theory, about half of them will have rabbits, so putting 4 out will mean we'll pull about, on average, about 2 rabbits each time. 1 in 4 of them should break, so in theory we should have to have 1 to repair. And if you think about it, right, we're getting 2 rabbits, and we're breaking 1 of them, so we need to use the guts from 1 of the rabbits to repair it. And you basically can have a sustainable cycle that way. Food production. It's not very dense food production, but it is a pretty decent way to both fight, what's it called? Fight cabin fever by being outside. So getting outside and harvesting those rabbits and cooking those rabbits outside is a very good way to work down cabin fever. As well as it's also a really good way to generate some passive mats, because we're going to want to make a rabbit hat, we're going to want to make rabbit gloves, etc. And for that we do need some equipment. So there's a wolf over there. That wolf might come over if I hunt this rabbit. I can take the risk and hunt the rabbit. Usually there's 2 rabbits over here. I don't know where the second one is. This is a rabbit grove, so we can have more rabbits. So the rabbit traps will actually catch rabbits here. I'm hoping it's not so windy that I can successfully set up a fire here. No, it is too windy to set up a fire. Okay, so we'll have to start wandering back towards the camp. And hopefully we can find some wind shelter on the way. Worst case scenario, I can harvest this inside. Okay, so there's a rabbit. So we're going to drop the rabbit so that we don't accidentally aggro any wolves or whatever when we're hunting this one. I'm going to try getting the rabbit. Failed to get the rabbit. It's on the way we're going, so we're just going to keep walking that direction. When we see him start hopping back towards us, because he'll probably start hopping back towards us, we'll drop the rabbit and try again. I find it's a little easier to hunt rabbits on flat terrain, which is probably why I missed there. I'm not seeing the rabbit. No, well, 1 rabbit for us. We appear to have wind shelter here, so I'm going to actually drop the rabbit, and we're going to start a fire instead. So is it flat enough here? Can I get it flat enough? Next to the tree I can. So we'll set the fire up there. We don't want to burn birch bark to start the fire. So we're going to process down this rabbit for a little bit of food. I might also harvest that log for fuel for later fires. Because I know at some point I will want to do fishing near here. And a bunch of timber for fishing will make a lot of sense. We now have an improvised dagger, which is the best way to get some of the bits out of this rabbit. We get some stuff cooking while we're waiting for the rabbit, while we're butchering the rabbit. So let's go ahead. Let's prep some reishi tea, because we do need the tea prepped. That's a good way to get cooking experience. So we'll use the knife, get out the meat, set the meat to cook while we pull out the guts. So hopefully the meat won't burn while we harvest this gut. The very small piece might, which is the thing I'm immediately thinking might happen. It's been a while since I've cooked such a small piece, but I'm hoping it won't burn in the couple seconds, and it didn't. So we get to eat a very small piece of meat. As you can see, rabbit does not provide a lot of calories. That one should also not burn in the time it takes to harvest the hide. The hide's always fastest if you harvest it by hand. And calories consumed when harvesting is proportional to how long it takes to harvest. So we got the hide off. We get to eat that rabbit with a low harvesting and cooking skill. Harvesting, or what's a better way to describe it? The actual process of harvesting them is about calorie neutral, so we didn't really gain any calories doing that, but we passed a little bit of time, which is one of the first things we want to do.
It's gonna get a lot colder.
So we went ahead, we harvested that firewood. We'll pick up this gut. I will throw a stick on the fire, and we'll grab a torch out of it. And now we'll walk the rest of the way back to the camp office, where I'll end the YouTube video. So we've got a rabbit trap set up. I think the next video will probably be me going to retrieve either the birch, well, go retrieve the stuff we need to make bows and arrows. So I'll either head down towards Desolation Point to pick up the stuff we left on the way leaving Desolation Point, or vice versa, I'll head out to Pleasant Valley where we left it in Pleasant Valley. We've got a stash in both locations. And then probably the session after that will be us, depending upon whether or not, we'll either be coming back here to use them, or us using them, depending on how quickly I can do the video in between, the trip in between. One of our main travel food sources right now is peach pie, which is going to deplete, or is going to refill our tiredness bar. So there's going to be very little, surprisingly, there's probably going to be very little sleeping, unless we get injured over the next couple of play sessions. It's probably going to be mostly moving. Okay, this is where I'm going to stop this part as far as YouTube. Twitch, I'm going to continue after a short break, so if you're watching and want to keep watching, hang around and I'll be back shortly.